Music is immortal. Musicians are not. After a star has died, new songs often come out, old releases are reborn, and unfinished fragments can be magically blended in the studio, and it's not a new phenomenon. Otis Redding's Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay hit number 1, 1968.
Sitting in the morning sun.
But he died in a plane crash, December 1967, days after recording the song, which was not finished at the time. In 1991, Natalie Cole released a duet.
That's why, darling, it's incredible.
Unforgettable, with her famous father, Nat King Cole, who had died 26 years before. The list of artists with posthumous hits is pretty long when you look at it. Joplin, Lennon, Prince, XXXTentacion, just to name a few, and 2019's Song of the Summer, Higher Love. It's a remix version of Whitney Houston's decades-old track, just kind of sat there, and then was released 7 years after her death. Releasing a deceased musician's work raises two important questions, and they don't always necessarily align. What's legal, and what's ethical? The law is pretty clear on the technical side. A copyright is essentially personal property. It can be passed on to an heir or to another party in a will. And then whomever ends up with that copyright basically gets to decide what's going to be done with this artist's music. Stash it away, find a hotshot producer, cook up a hit. The rules are wide open. And keep in mind, by the way, that with today's streaming services, artists are producing a lot more unreleased music, meaning extensive catalogs of tunes that can be pulled from and released after death. Now, the question of ethics, especially if the work was unfinished when the artist died. One music writer put it this way in The Guardian. If a living artist wants to raid the vaults and illuminate their creative process by spilling every doodle or abandoned experiment, that's up to them. But when someone's not around to say yes or no, and approval is posthumously assumed, it feels intrusive. What right do fans have to hear what their favorite artist threw away? David Joseph, the CEO of Universal Music UK, answered that question this way. He destroyed Amy Winehouse's demos for her third album. He didn't want his successors to what he called Frankenstein a record. It was a moral thing, he told The Guardian. On the other hand, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, that's a major part of Otis Redding's legacy. The whistling ending, which he ad-libbed, it was left in the released version that went to the top of the charts, but the seagull squawking, that was added. Would he have approved? Likewise with Higher Love, although it builds on an earlier finished version. Would Houston approve of Kygo's mix? We'll never know. Perhaps the standard here, going forward, should go deeper, asking two other questions. Is a posthumous release purely for commercial reasons? Or does it enhance the star's legacy and rise to their standards?